Hi, I'm Kathy Mills from Short Film Edits, and I'm here with Meg Bush for an interview today. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing so good. Thank you so much for having me. I know it's a long time coming, so I'm happy to be here.
Anytime. I'm grateful that you said yes. I love you, and so I'm so glad that you're here.
I love you too. Of course. I'm so happy to be here, and your support means a lot to all of us. So
Thank
thank
you.
you for having me.
Thank you. Anytime. Could we start this with you just telling us a little bit about you?
Yes, of course. I'm Meg Bush. I have been embracing the vertical world in film and began in theater and made that transition a little bit. I started last year around May with the verticals. I was a little skeptical at first because it was such a new medium, and then kind of fully embraced it now in 2025. So yeah,
And
pumped,
we're very
grateful.
glad about that.
Thank you. Thank you. I've been having the best time.
No, I'm so glad. Okay. How has theatre shaped your performance on screen?
Oh, I'm sure in more ways than I can even register. So I went to college eventually for theater as well. But before that, I did a gap year I was a company member at a regional theater on Long Island called Theater 3 in Port Jefferson. And I did like 14 shows a week with them sometimes. And we did all kinds of really moving um, touring shows and a lot of their main stage and children's theater. And I really could feel myself making the difference that I always wanted to. And there would be Q&As after a lot of the touring shows to the schools and colleges. And being able to see the impact was really moving. So I think it's made me. It's hard exactly how it's. Oh, wait, let me think. Okay. Because there's one side of it that the technique itself has shaped how I am in the film world, and then it's also like the kind of parts that I want to be playing and the kind of shows that I want to be doing. So that's shaped that as well. But in terms of the technique of acting, I think theater training is the best because
Yeah.
it starts you off from a place of being able to access a million different emotions in like big or small ways and in the simplest of terms. And then, yeah, so I felt like I had all the background and all the training of how to access those bigger emotions. And there's nothing like Shakespeare to get to the root of everything.
Mhm.
Um, and then also to be able to register the kind of power we have as artists in terms of expanding people's compassion and if we do our jobs as best we can, then that happens the best that it can. So to really register the power that we have as artists as well. And yeah, I'll stick with that. I know that was a little bit of a weird ramble, but
That's okay.
it's hard
Ramble
to
away.
qualify. It's hard to really get to the root of how theater has translated into film for me, but uh,
Mm.
it's been a bit of a challenge too because film is so grounded and internal and nuanced, and sometimes theater doesn't offer that opportunity. So it's been really cool to get to a place of, oh, I don't have to put anything on. I can just be a person and be as natural as I possibly can. And be able to use more of Meg in the characters instead of putting
Yeah.
something else fully on.
Mm.
Uh,
And I know
so
in
I would
theatre you have
say,
to be very powerful, like you have to reach, everybody, whereas in film
yeah,
it's more intimate type. I would say I
exactly,
don't know if intimate is the right word, but it's more, you know, you're close to the camera, your facial features are like more nuanced, whereas
exactly.
theatre it's more out, so to speak.
Right. In
Yeah.
film, you can like read every thought, so
Yeah.
you have to be like really feel what's going on and listen to your scene partners, so it
Yeah.
registers and you can see that and it reads.
Mhm. Is there anything in film that theatre school couldn't have taught you?
So much.
Mm.
So much. My first job out of college was a feature, and the even just the lingo on a film set, the words that people are using to mean other
Mm.
things, I'm like, Where am I?
Mm.
This is not what I learned. How do I
Mhm.
unlearn everything and start again? And then you realize how much it did kind of lend itself beautifully into transitioning into film. But yeah, it's so much unlearned. I mean, my first manager, I would do some self tapes and she'd be like, time to forget everything that you've ever learned because you're auditioning for theater right now and it's for a
Yeah.
film. So stop putting everything on and just settle into it, breathe, like allow yourself to actually feel what's going on and be hit with like the words of the other characters and yeah, so I think a lot of it was unlearning, but still in a way that I can't put into words, knowing what I can take from theater and applying that as well. And I took some film classes, of course,
Yeah.
so that all helped me unlearn as well.
I didn't know about film classes. So, like, what's the difference between a film class and a theatre class?
It's well, film classes they put a camera on you usually, and you're sometimes just sitting in a chair opposite your scene partner, whereas theater class is a million different things. It's
Yeah.
pure chaos in really wonderful ways. Um, and you're usually in front of the whole class for theater, and film classes sometimes can be more intimate, or they're just watching the screen instead of like staring at your actual face. So there's a lot.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Hmm. Okay. So you sing opera, you play a bit of piano and guitar. Has your musical background influenced your acting choices or performance?
Definitely, yeah. I think a lot of being able to access various ranges of my voice has been able to lend itself into different characters. And that's something I've become more intentional about. I like some I do a lot of the high school type shows, and for that I will sometimes allow my voice to be kind of where it used to be and up in high school and maybe pronounce things a little harder so it feels like I'm still in that place. But then for other characters that are a little tougher, more gritty, more grounded, like the one I just did with Jackson, I like drop down a little bit and she's kind of a badass. And so, yeah.
Can't wait to
So
see
it's
that.
been cool to weaponize that a little bit to my
Yeah.
benefit. Um, and but in terms of music, I'm not sure. I'm sure in ways that I don't know it has lent itself directly, but I would love to do one with music in it. I've
Yes,
been like
yes.
begging. I'm like,
Ones that
please
you can
let me
actually
do it.
sing and yeah,
Yeah, I think that'd be awesome to play like a character, not to do like a musical
yeah,
vertical per se, but to play a character who sings or is a singer-songwriter, and so that I can do that a little bit, a little
that
show
would be
off
good.
moment.
That would be very good. I know that there are some where they do sing, but like Keys to My Heart, but it wasn't
Mhm.
actually Shay singing.
Yeah.
So that's never
I
bad.
know. I know. It's
But
okay.
I was like, oh, that could be him. But I do know that Tommy and Liv just did one too, and they were singing themselves in that one, which was really cool.
Oh, that's
Um,
awesome.
so yeah, it
Yeah.
was good when you get to experience that if you want, yeah, especially if you're a
Yeah,
singer.
I would love that. It's definitely starting to happen more, so I'm excited.
Yes,
But we'll
no,
see
that's good.
if it comes my
Okay.
way.
Out of all your creative talents, which one do you find the most freeing?
Ooh, freeing. Ah, I mean, acting is like my heart and soul, but I would say there's a certain catharsis with songwriting,
Yeah.
uh, that if you're feeling an emotion that you don't know exactly how to process on your own, if you put it into lyrics and then get it out in that way, it's really very cathartic.
Yeah.
And I've written a lot that I've never, ever, ever shared and and might never share. I've thought about it, but I think there's something beautiful about having something creative that you keep for yourself, that you cherish and don't necessarily give to anyone because
Yeah.
that is, yeah, because it's more
Mm.
personal or you don't want it to be perceived or judged or any of that.
Yeah. And sometimes
Mm.
you don't need to show people. Sometimes you just need to write something down and keep it for yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. It's like
Yeah.
journaling kind of, but then it has a this like tangible feel because you can like really
You
get it
can
out,
express
express it.
it. Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, that's good. Okay. Have there been roles that have challenged you more than you expected?
So many. Yeah.
Mm.
Um, in the vertical space?
Anything really? Anything?
Okay. I mean, both, all.
Yeah.
Uh,
Anything, everything.
because certain parts challenge me in different ways.
Yeah.
And sometimes the vertical space has given me the challenge of uh there's a lot of like kind of emotional moments in these. So, and 2-minute episodes that need to be cliffhangers, it's a lot going
Yeah.
on, and we're filming like 15 pages a day. So it gets to be taxing in that way, challenging in a human way. And you talked to Cam, right? And I saw that little
Yes.
clip. So
Yeah.
nice. That there are those moments on set that like I've had a million different things dumped on me, and then we had to reset for something being dumped on me from another day, and then I was dressed up like this,
Mm.
and I had face paint on, and it was just so much happening in one day, and I have to reset, and there's this pressure to look a certain way, even though you're resetting your face a million times and getting made fun of on camera nonstop by people you've never met, and it's while you're supposed to be able to separate it, I think sometimes it does seep in a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'll never ever be rude on set. I'll never like play the diva thing. That's not me. It's just wouldn't
Yeah.
come out of my body. But I will sometimes get quiet or just like
Yes.
within myself a little bit. And I think a lot of my co-stars are so compassionate, and Cam is so wonderful with this that he can read
Yeah.
immediately if there's anything that's like seeping in. So he stepped up, and that whole lunch, he just talked to me and said the most wonderful things. And yeah,
Yeah.
um, so that always helps in those
Yeah.
challenging
He's lovely. When he told me that, I was like, oh.
yeah, and
Mm.
that is exactly what happened. He was so honest about that. He just really stepped up. And yeah, it's very selfless because he's on set too, and he's doing a
Yeah.
million different things too, and it's his lunch time as well. And I would never ask anyone to be that shoulder for me in that moment, but he definitely was. So that was really, really
It
wonderful of
just
him.
shows the kind of person he is as well.
Yeah, completely. He was, yeah, incredibly generous with his time and with his energy, and he's very eloquent. So the things that he said meant a lot as well.
That's good.
So it wasn't just like taking a break; it was actually hearing things that I need to hear and be talked up and all of that. So definitely grateful. But then, okay, so challenging in terms of acting. Every one of these characters has been and for different reasons. Like the military one, obviously, was a more physically taxing, and then that one that I just did with Cam was a little bit human emotionally challenging. And then there are other ones that, like the one I just did with Jackson that isn't out, is very it was incredibly creatively moving because they were letting us run with whatever kind of style we wanted acting
Oh, good.
wise, and
Good.
we took a really realistic approach and were able to just run with that and have fun and kind of just be us and put us in the characters.
Oh, good.
And the character is also definitely a badass, and she stands up for herself, and she's been through a lot, and sometimes that seeps out and sometimes she keeps it in. So that was a really wonderful challenge because I wanted to do so much justice for this script and for these creatives that were letting us play. And there's an accent, so I really wanted to stay in character the whole time and be fully present. And I had a scene partner that was really listening to me and being so generous. So that's challenging in a different way, that I kind of feel this pressure to uh, do something new and different and really, uh, how do you say, just uh, portray in the most human way so that people feel the utmost compassion and want to keep watching. So
Yeah.
entertaining versus, yeah, all of that.
I love that you had some creative freedom in that one. I love that. That's
Thank you. Yeah, it
it's more
was so fun.
natural. Yeah.
Definitely. And I hope it in the final edit everything is there. I'm really excited about that one for sure.
I'm sure it will. You and Jackson, there's no going wrong there. So
Thank you. I know I'd work with him anytime. He's amazing.
yeah, he's great. He's great. Okay. Okay. What kinds of stories do you want to tell that you don't feel have been represented enough?
Mm, yeah, I want to think about that so I don't, it means more. Oh, I feel like I get apprehensive sometimes with the stories with really sensitive themes that glorify the perpetrator.
Yeah.
Um, so I want to make sure that in future stories we are not making the good guy do horrible things and then get forgiven immediately and loved. Um, so I think I want to tell stories that condemn abusive behavior, uh, and I want to be like less afraid to tell everyone's story. And I
Yeah.
think sometimes that will take me out of it, and that's okay. But I want this space, this medium, to open itself to telling stories that we have yet to see and that are less represented in media, and yeah, and allow people to see, like allow everyone to see people who they can relate to on film. So yeah, I think just expanding the world and allowing more voices.
That's good. Okay. Has your approach to acting changed over the years?
Definitely. Yeah, it's in college it was a lot of just like trigger and then objective and then tactic. Like something happens in a scene, your character gets triggered, they then have an objective, something that they want to get from the other character, and then tactic. So how are they going to do that? And sometimes teachers want us to do that physically, sometimes it's more nuanced. Um, and it was very that, and there was right and wrong. And so that's something I didn't necessarily love about some of my classes in college was that it felt like boxy and they were looking for something specific, but with a creative medium, it doesn't, there's no right or wrong, it's subjective. So
Yeah.
uh, that was something that felt like a little bit pulled back. But now I can do that work and think about those things, but kind of be able to live freely in that space and not have to put a physical representation with everything that my character's feeling, or it just feels looser. So I'll still do that work, and when I get auditions, I'll break it down. I'll do like the beats and the shifts in the scene, and I'll, read the script a million times and do the background work on the characters so that all of that is behind me, so that I can forget it because it's there and I can trust that and then live freely within that. So it just feels a little bit less rigid now.
That's good. That's good. Okay. If you could star in a vertical that you would class as your perfect storyline, what would it be?
Mhm. That's so tough. Your questions are amazing and so difficult.
Uh,
Um,
Thank you. I hope not too
I
difficult.
no, it's just I want to be able to do it right. I think oh, it would have like a little bit of everything because and I've started writing some, and that really gets me thinking about like the ones that I've done that are really awesome. And I'm like, I don't want to like copy tropes or anything, but some of them are like so fun and new and fresh and exciting that it's already happening. I would say my perfect storyline, I'm like a small town singer. Maybe it's country themed because that seems to be really fun for me recently. It's a little bit Western. Um, and struggling financially, and then this guy swoops in and he's maybe okay, so here's a little no one steal this if you're watching, but I was kind of starting to write an outline of one where this guy had lost his wife and he had this passion and they would sing together, and he hasn't sung since her passing. And then he meets someone that he feels safe enough to, and he wants to help her, so they enter a competition, kind of like Dirty Dancing vibes, and they are able to form a bond by working on this together and having this shared goal. But also, he's learning to love again at the same time and learning to love what he used to do with his wife. So, um, something like that, where like both characters can grow.
Yeah.
Um, it's got that extra creative element. Um, I love stunts, so let's throw some fun stunts in there. Definitely a bad guy or gal, or maybe we're riding horses.
Yes.
Um, I also would love to do one where I get to be a little bit, this is totally separate from that, but a little bit darker
Yeah.
psychologically. And
Yeah.
they've been doing some of these like kind of weird serial killer
Mm.
criminal ones, but the female character is never the one doing that. And I think that would be
Yeah.
so crazy and fun and really interesting psychologically
A
too.
few people have said that. A few people have said
Yeah,
that
that would
one,
be so
so people
fun.
want it. Yeah.
Yes, let's do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. And I love the idea of your first one. I really love that. Seems like a
Oh,
lot of
thank
character development in that one as well. So
Yeah, I think that would be really fun and beautiful and a great, um, acting opportunity for both parts.
absolutely, absolutely. Okay.
Thanks.
What's more challenging for you? Delivering subtle emotion in a quiet scene or sustaining high energy during action or dramatic scenes?
Mm, great question. Yeah. I think for me, sustaining the high emotion, uh, and it depends how many takes you're doing and if you're starting on your coverage or their coverage or you're cross covering. So there's a lot of things that go into making each of them more or less difficult in different situations. But I think overall sustaining high emotion, I love the nuanced emotion, um, and just like a quiet cry and explaining, and purging that. Um, but I think it's more difficult to be like so pissed at someone and maintain that, and because you're not there you, so you have
Yeah.
to build up to that. And it's like before they call action, sometimes I'm like, can I have 10 seconds? I need to
Get
get
angry.
physically there. Yeah.
Yeah.
um and I've had really generous scene partners who can just take that and run with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say sustained heightened emotion, in simplest terms, would
Okay.
be more difficult, but also so fun.
Yes.